Mainstream media and a lot of others went into overdrive painting these narratives in order for so many to turn their back against Robert Kelly. But just as I said 3 years ago, all of the things that we saw playing out would come back to bite certain individuals in the butt. Like even how people bypass the coincidences between Bill Cosby and Robert Kelly. Even this Monique Presley chick who was referred to Robert Kelly, who used to work for Bill Cosby. But this was just a trickle of information I began to spill on my platform when I started to question why these individuals that claim to know Robert Kelly were bringing all these questionable, janky ass people around him, but all these people seem to gravitate towards my information on one foot until I begin to show you how they're obviously playing into these indictments and making a lot of people look real foolish on these platforms, which is why I never open my platform for none of these janky ass people. So let them continue to watch. Let them continue to take their shots. Just know their time is running out. And I came out here showing you a lot of fraudulent activities for a reason. Meanwhile, all these other people seem to do is watch other people's lives or posts so they can give their input instead of bringing you researched information. But hey, as I said a long time ago, I believe all this was intentional, just like all these people came to YouTube to put these narratives out here, lying to his fan base, telling them that no one would listen to them and blase, blase. Then next thing you know, they end up on a sequel to the Surviving R. Kelly. Like, you can't make this shit up. And then they turn right around and convince you that another janky ass docuseries is on his behalf. All these people keep talking about they got letters, they're getting phone calls, all this fugazi ass shit. So when you see the news start to emerge that Bill Cosby is worried about being in the same position under this RICO, it should make you question all these weird ass connections that we've seen on the internet. If you ask me, these people conspired with the dumbest criminals they could find, considering all of them come out spouting the same rhetoric and don't see how everybody with common sense can clearly see the driving force behind the shenanigans. Meanwhile, they'll come on their platform attacking people, hoping to get a reaction. But if you watch how I choose to respond to certain things, you will notice the way I respond allows these individuals to expose themselves. So at the end of the day, people can have selective amnesia and forget how individuals came out here talking about people were testifying against Robert Kelly, knowing they allowed their platform to substantiate certain allegations against this man, knowing the government intended to use this. I can't take a lot of these people serious. Especially when 3 years in, people still don't know how you would send money to an inmate. People still don't have common sense to know this man does not have a Gmail account. So these individuals in these fan groups are scamming. And if you rely on bloggers to keep telling you that common sense, this is why all the confusion keeps making it on YouTube. Because as you can see, there's very few doing the research that are speaking, and more clowns and crash dummies out here trying to cover up all the bullshit they've done the last few years that fucked up this man's case. However, as I said long time ago, I believe this man is going through his trials and tribulations just like we all are. The problem is a lot of people don't seem to realize that. So when I see people coming at me, I know it's my past demons trying to get a rise out of me. Just like I pointed out the agenda with this Me Too movement and how now their true colors are starting to show. And the fact that they're continuing to pursue Bill Cosby shows you that they have no intention to look for justice. Just like in this case with Robert Kelly, it's all about the money. Even in this Epstein case, if it hadn't been for individuals outright calling these accusers liars, that opened up the door for a lawsuit. So that was another red flag I saw in Robert Kelly's case when these individuals came out with that Facebook page, Surviving Lies. And then Cash Jones came out on these platforms to give so much information revolving the internal conflict between these parents and other individuals. But these are the things that people don't want to talk about.
Oh my God.
So R. Kelly made you have sex with another girl? Let me call this.
Who are you? I'll curse his ass out.
Now in November, they ain't had no contact with their daughter. December, they conducted this interrogation they call an intervention. And they wonder why their daughter won't come the fuck back home.
He made you have sex with another girl?
He did not make me have sex with her.
You wanted to have sex with her?
No, I didn't. Oh my God. You didn't want to have sex. Who is April?
Who is April?
Who is April?
Who is April?
It's getting old.
Who is April? Why we keep talking about R. Kelly?
She want to sit there and have a conversation with her family, and they want to record her with this bullshit intervention, then go over here and tell the world wide web that she's a sex slave being brainwashed. Okay.
R. Kelly made you have sex with another
No,
girl?
nobody made me have sex with.
Nothing wrong with being a good storyteller and writing books, but when people ignore obvious facts, like even when it came to this trial and this doctor who wasn't even this man's physician talking about he's prescribing medicine and the man's test was negative, these are the things that should have been highlighted by supporters. It says a lot when the man who spent all this time writing these stories even mentioned the fact of questioning this physician's ethics. For all we know, all these witnesses could have been coerced into their testimonies, considering we see how many things that they openly admit to. We see how these individuals align to these associates and his defense team. We see these original accusers who came out and contradicted their stories. And we've watched how this man's whole support system was broken down to the point these people make you feel guilty in asking questions and demanding that the prosecutors and these officials prove their case, considering all these individuals talking about what everybody knew are sitting out here scot-free while this man is in jail. Now, call me crazy, but when I hear stories and people saying that everybody knew this and everybody knew that, my next question is, well, common sense is, why didn't anybody set up a sting? You know how like the Chris Hansen guys to catch a predator? If these people claim this man has been preying on little girls all these years, even though they can't produce not one, why didn't they set up a sting operation to catch him red-handed instead of manufacturing this whole case right before our eyes?
An elaborate multi-agency investigation in Florida has resulted in the arrest of more than a dozen men who thought they were soliciting sex with children online. As part of the operation, investigators went undercover as minors communicating on numerous social media platforms with the suspected predators. The arrests announced last week. Law enforcement teams from multiple agencies worked together, spending 5 days in chat rooms on Facebook, Instagram, dating sites, and other social media platforms, posing as children under the age of 14.
To wrap up this video, in case anyone is still confused, I started my channel before there was people out here saying they support Robert Kelly. In fact, there was only a handful that were bold enough to say so. While all these people sat back watching the content being made by people like me, then to come out here pushing this fake-ass unity, knowing that they were trying to associate certain individuals with other individuals, knowing that the government has absolutely no problem when it comes to a RICO convicting people based on their possibility of being affiliated with the wrong type of people. With that said, it should have said a lot the manner in which certain people decided to bring content to these platforms. And as I said from the beginning, I'm here to document what is going on, including the process of this appeal. Now, if you ask me, I believe Robert Kelly will be vindicated. I don't believe a lot of these crash dummies who have openly committed crimes are going to be safe.
This predator, Mr. Kelly, preyed on them repeatedly. I want to send a message to the enablers of Mr. Kelly, to the agents and the managers and the attorneys and the others who stood idly by and looked the other way and turned a blind eye while teenage girls were sexually assaulted for over 2 decades. I will not rest until each of you is brought to justice.
So-called enablers, because I got that information from Angelo, Tim Savage, Cash Jones.
The whole party there, and you know we get the bag. No grocery, we really get the bag. Hey. Pull up in the phone, hop on with a phone, hit the mall and pop tags. Hey. When a nigga was a young boy, all I thought about was getting the cash. Yeah, nigga getting the money now, so you know a nigga gon' brag. Bragging, still keep it hood, counts all good, dreams still on side. On side, bank account need to work out 'cause it's so fat. And you know we get the bag. You know we get the bag. And you know I gets the bag. We get the bag. Run it up. She wanna ride around in the Bentley truck. Her and a nigga, they done broke it up. Way back in the Maybach, suck it up. Private plane with the gang, take a trip. That's your man, you was saying she the rip. I get the bag, hop in the level when I do the dash. My heart on my pickets all glass. When we get your bitch and I smash. I'm a suicide door, just a pledge. I'ma put the product with the Saint Laurent, yeah. I'ma turn 100 to a million, no finesse. I'ma take the jet with the gang, 'cause we blood. And my neck, white coat, VVS. I'ma put the paddock on, crystal light milk. I can get the bag, no help with myself. I'ma buy everything off the shelf. Now we in Dubai with the water like Phelps. Can you keep a secret, be quiet, don't tell. Young nigga up my wealth. My drip ain't felt Montclair. I feel like this my year. Spend $250,000 on my ear. I'ma get the bag all year. I'ma hit your bitch from the rear. Hop up in the coupe, hit the gears. Riding in the Wraith with the shears. Know we get the bag. And you know we get the bag. And you know I gets the bag. We get the bag.
Playing no motherfucking games with you, boy. I gave you 120 hours to get back in touch with me, nigga. But fuck them 120 hours, nigga. You talking about my daughter. You know you supposed to be working with her music, R. Kelly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Robert R. Kelly, the singer, you bitch ass nigga. I got you, boy. Yeah, come fuck with me. This Savage, Tim Savage. Fuck you, nigga.
R. Kelly, by now, you should know that you should come see me. You know who I am. You know who you have at your house. My daughter, Jocelyn Savage. My name is Tim Savage.
Listen, bro, the card, look, bro, the man dealt with R. Kelly in my living room, bro.
All of this, you're going to see this in future testimony, but Azrael knows where everything is. When I say the tape, she knows who's who. She knows where the bank accounts are, where the money is. She knows who's using who. Not seen what we've been trying to show you, that you've been brainwashed. But once she watched that documentary and she read the emails that I sent over to her, that he was sending to Joycelyn, telling Joycelyn the same things that he told her, hiding other tapes for Azrael, just like London on the Track's mom was doing, Cheryl, I forgot her last name, Cheryl Mack or whatever. And so I'm trying to tell you without telling you too much, because like I said, this is a federal case, and I've even helped out the feds with all the information that I've been given. So I was working with the Department of State? Homeland Security, one of them damn please. Homeland Security, my lawyers were, to hand them over everything that we had received.
Well, he's been working on his investigation for some time and tells us that he is representing 6 clients. He says 2 of them are victims, 2 parents, and 2 whistleblowers, and that one of the victims was named in today's indictment. Michael Avenatti says that he was contacted back in April by a concerned parent and started his investigation, then passed over evidence to Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx several weeks ago. That evidence, he says, includes a VHS tape depicting Kelly engaged in sexual acts with a 14-year-old girl, saying the tape is of far superior quality and entirely different from the video shown in Kelly's 2008 trial. Avenatti says he is aware of 2 other tapes out there, says he has already acquired one of them, which he will be passing along to Kim Foxx. Avenatti says he also has proof Kelly paid witnesses to rig the outcome of the 2008 trial, where Kelly was acquitted of all charges. He also called out people in R. Kelly's inner circle. He says at least 10 of them who he calls enablers. He says he plans to go after them as well.